Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Game Day here at Heavy Cardboard. Today we are busting out Votes for Women, designed by Tori Brown, published by Fort Circle Games. Fort Circle was kind enough to send me this review copy of the game, and we did a learn with me type thing last week. So literally busted the shrink off the game and learned it on stream. So if that is kind of your thing, you can go check that out after we're done here today, or maybe whatever. You get the idea. I'm your host, Edward Euler, and it's just us. And apparently my dice tower that is blocking the way. But it works out because we need him for today. So welcome. Welcome, everybody watching live around the world, as well as after the fact. Now, I've yet to play the game, but I think we'll be okay with this. Like I said, we did this play or this learning last week, and I've played enough 1960, Imperial Struggle, Twilight Struggle to, I think we'll be okay. Now the question is, can we get the 19th Amendment passed? Hopefully the answer to that is yes. And yeah, let's just roll into it, shall we? So like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and let's get into it, shall we? Excuse me, got my English breakfast tea ready to rock and roll. So here we go. The rights of the citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation, quote unquote. That is from the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Now, obviously, this game takes place prior to that passing, and hopefully we do our jobs and it will pass. Now, before I get started to talk about actually playing the game, I want to commend Fort Circle and Tori Brown. Everything you see here are individual supplements to the game. They add nothing mechanically to the game. They're just flavor, all of these. And it is massive. And on top of all that, there is the supplement, right? Designer notes, all that stuff. But it also, so here we go, designer letter, right? But all the documents that I just showed you are shown here on the right page, and a little bit of history and what they are about them, which this is amazing, like legitimately amazing. So awesome. Well done, Fort Circle, and everybody over there, and Tori herself. So I know Tori's working today. She can't join us. That's okay. Hopefully we will survive and pass the 19th Amendment on her behalf today. All right. Now I do see that Kevin's in chat. Kevin Bertram. He runs Fort Circle Games. So hi, Kevin. There you go. All right. What is it y'all are looking at? Well, obviously we have a state, or the United States. We have a map of the states. Let's try this. There we go. Broken up into different regions. There are a total, by my count, 6 regions. And then there are, 8 states, I think? Each-ish, thereabouts, right? We have the West, the Plains, the South, the Midwest, the Atlantic, and Appalachia. And we have the Northeast. And these just basically are spots to put cubes. Because, hey, up here in the Northeast, we have tiny states. I know this because I can drive through 3 states in half an hour from where I live. All right. So that's that. Then we have buttons. There are 2 types of buttons in this game. We're only going to talk about the solo game, okay? This plays 1 to 4, basically teaming up and stuff, but we're playing against the Applebot. So we're only going to talk about the solo game. So with that said, these buttons are functionally all identical. These are modeled on historical buttons, but all of these are positive buttons for us. So they are stacks of buttons for us. We have the turn track. As you can see, we have the capital track, where we're going to be hopefully putting out these markers out here into the capital spaces. We have a cards in effect areas. So if you're familiar with a 1960 Making of the President or that type of game, this will be familiar. This is cards that remain in effect for the rest of the turn, for the rest of the game, and affect final voting. Then down below we have state cards. The state cards are going to be cards that both sides, both the Oppobot and the suffragist, aka us, will be able to claim and be able to do things for, or will help us, I should say. At the beginning of the game, I should point this out, that there were three states randomly removed, so Kansas, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. These are out of the game. Alas, they will not be, but these 9 are the ones that are in play. Then we have strategy cards. There are 12 of them. These are the 3 random ones that are available. The strategy deck, take my word for it, is down here. We have our starting card, and this is kind of us. So we have our campaigners. So purple and yellow are going to be our player colors. So we have 4 campaigners, 2 in each color. We have a bunch of cubes, which will help us do things out here on the board. We have our deck. Now our deck is broken up into early, mid, and late game cards. The late game cards are all shuffled, and then the middle cards are shuffled, put on top of the late. Y'all know how that works. And we have 1 start card. We also have check marks. Check marks are 36? Yeah, we have to get 36 states to ratify the 19th Amendment once we get to that point. So these will be kind of off to the side until later. Then the opposition side over here has 2 opponents or opposition markers, kind of like our campaigners, okay? They have their cubes, boo, hiss, and then they have their goal is to get 13 states to not ratify the 19th Amendment. And if that happens, we lose. Or if the 19th Amendment is not passed at all, we lose. So that would be bad. Okay? So we have to do that by the end of the 6th round. We have the Oppobot deck. Its deck is early, mid, late cards, just like ours. However, there were 2 cards randomly removed from early, 2 from mid, 2 from late. And they have 3 starting cards. They have 1 for the first round, 1 for the 3rd round, 1 for the 5th round. So that's pretty much everything you're looking at, except I mentioned our aforementioned dice tower. We have 3 different dice. We have 6-sided dice, we have 8-sided dice, and then we have 4-sided dice that are here modeled as 12-sided dice, which I highly, highly, highly appreciate, because 4-sided dice don't roll worth a damn. So these are 4-sided dice, actually. And there's a plethora, of more, but we'll use those as needed, all right? So that's everything that you're looking at here, okay? But how do you play the game? Well, I'm really glad you asked that. Well, the game takes place over 6 rounds, as you can see there. Within each round, there will be 4 phases, except for the first round. The first round, there will be only 3 phases. First phase is the planning phase. Draw 6 cards. Add it to either your start card or 1 card that's left over. Pretty simple. So we'll have a hand of 7 cards. And the good news is we don't have to hide this hand of 7 cards. Why? Because the Oppobot doesn't have eyes, so it won't cheat. Well, it'll probably cheat, but it won't cheat from that. So there's that. All right, 7 cards over here. Okay, cool. Then there's the strategy phase, which has to do with these strategy cards. Doesn't happen in the first round, we're not going to talk about it. We'll just worry about it later. Okay? We might be able to claim one of these, we might not, or the Oppobot might be able to, but not in the first round, so we don't care. Pretty simple. Okay? All right, cool. All right, third phase is the meat of the game, operations phase. There are 6 rounds in the operations phase. Now, we have 7 cards. We have 6 rounds, which means we're going to play 6 of our 7 cards. We're going to carry 1 card forward. Pretty straightforward on that. When we do so, we can do one of 4 things with our cards. We can either play it for the event, and if you take a look, we'll go ahead and do it here. If you take a look at the actual card here, I know it's a little sideways, just work with me. All right, we have when it is, so it's start card, so obviously early, mid, late, start, whatever, okay? Then the name of the card and the event. And then we have some flavor text. We will be reading all the flavor text, so this normally probably be about an hour-long game. Gonna be a little bit longer than that. Quite a bit, actually, because we're gonna be reading all the flavor text, because duh, makes sense. So anyway, we can play it as the event. Pretty straightforward. Do what it says. If you cannot do what it says, you can't play it for the event. That's simple enough. The second thing we can do is we can play a card for the campaigning action. What does that mean? We take a card, we ignore what the event says, and instead, depending on how many campaigners we have out here on the board, we roll one 4-sided die. And then we're going to put cubes out for those in those various regions and states. Pretty straightforward. Done. The third thing we can do on our turn when we play a card is play it for the organization action. What is that? Count how many campaigners we have out there, and then get that many buttons. Discard the card afterwards. Pretty straightforward on that. Okay? And the last thing, which I was told by Kevin, this is pretty rare. This is a Hail Mary, if fellow football fans out there. Play a card for a lobbying action. So these 6-sided dice, roll them, and for every 6 we roll, put capital markers out there. We need 6 out there to pass the 19th Amendment. But that's not how we win. That's the first part of winning. Then we have to get the states ratifying it. That's it. We do that once, then the Oppo bot does their thing once. Once. We do that 6 times. Okay? Then we go into a cleanup phase. Cleanup phase, pretty simple. Okay? If there are any cards in effect for the turn, hey, it's the end of the turn. We take those out of there. Okay? Easy enough. Advance the turn marker, rinse and repeat. Do that 6 times. Okay? At the end of the 6th turn, if the 19th Amendment hasn't been passed by Congress, aka those 6 markers aren't here, we lose, and y'all can ridicule me. Seems reasonable. Okay? However, if it's been sent to the states for ratification, but neither has won, and what I mean by that is we don't have 36 states ratifying it, or they don't have 13 shooting it down, then we go into a final vote. And we'll talk about that later. Okay? We're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, pretty straightforward. That's it. That's the game in a nutshell. Okay? And I agree, Larry. Larry says flavor text is essential in these types of games. Helps with the theme and historical learning. Exactly. Right? All right. Cool. We ready? I like what Michael said here, too. Yeah, the game is perfect for the classroom, too. Exactly. Totally agree with it. All right. So I'm going to keep this handy because we're going to need it to reference certain things throughout the game until we get rolling. But, all right. Yummy tea. Okay, so let's get to it. First things first, I want to get the phases named correctly. Here we go. Sequence of play. So first thing, planning phase. Draw 6 cards. Okay. You're going to have to take my word for it that these are actually shuffled. 2, 3, 4, 5. That bodes well. We drew 6, or we pulled 6 off the deck and didn't have to put any back. All right, what do we got? Property rights for women. Union victory. You know what? Let's scoot those up a little. Here we go. We have Frederick Douglass. We have National Women's Rights Convention, Sojourner Truth, which if you watched last week's stream, she got some run on there. And Susan B. Anthony, indicted. Kind of put that there to start. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we're going to have to play around with that. That didn't work out as perfect as I thought it might. There we go. That works. That's a little bit better. Sorry about that. Thought I had it worked out. Okay. So, first things first, we play a card. So, we would normally go into the strategy event, which are these cards, but we skip that in round 1. Or turn 1, if you prefer. So, What are we looking at? So let's see. Receive a button and in one state in each region. Not bad, but later probably. I'm thinking we add, well, I mean, Seneca Falls Convention feels like the card we're supposed to do at the start. I mean, I'm looking at the cards. Give me a minute. Because getting campaigners out there feels like the right thing to do. I think so. I think that's what we're going to do. So we are going to play the Seneca Falls Convention. So let's see. Make sure I get this in the right spot. Hopefully. Hey, there we go. All right. So we are going to play this for the event. Okay. So it says Seneca Falls Convention. Add one purple campaigner and one yellow campaigner to the Northeast region. I mean, it is where I'm at, right? Receive 2 buttons and add 2 cubes of my choice in New York. Whenever you see the 2 cube there, the purple and yellow, you can either color, okay? Cool. Give me 1 second. One thing I want to double check. A moment. Yeah, for our game, for the solo game, it doesn't matter if we have yellow or purple or a mix in a state. It's when we have 4 in a state, we can claim a state card. So just wanted to make sure. Yeah, when a player places their 4th cube, the player claims that state card. All right, awesome, good. So we will add 2 campaigners to the Northeast region. Okay. So we have 1 there, and we have 1 there. Now, the game does come, let's see, I have these, with like more boring looking campaigners. But I mean, the ones with the flags, those are awesome. So again, just extra stuff. So yay. All right, so we have done that. Receive 2 buttons. Okay, what do we got here? It's a man's world unless women vote. Okay, we'll take 1 of those buttons. Again, functionally, they're all the same. Okay, all right. And we'll take a American Women's Suffrage, National American Women's Suffrage Association button. There we go. So we got 2 buttons and 2 cubes in New York. You know what? Let's go ahead and evenly throw those bad boys out there. So 2 in New York. Done. All right, so what's it say? Card says, led by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott, the resulting declaration of sentiments, quote unquote, helped advance and shape the struggle for women's suffrage. All right, we have played our first card. This goes into a discard. Discard, we're just going to put over here. Actually, we'll put ours over there and we'll put the Applebots in theirs. All right, I think that was a good first turn. Okay, so for the operations phase, and the states, I will put those up there. There we go. All right, for the Applebot, in the operations phase, it'll either play a card for the event or play a card to take a campaigning action. But the first round, the first, third, and fifth rounds, they will play on the first, try this again. On turns 1, 3, and 5, see, I feel like those are backwards, but I digress. On turn 1, round 1, that's now, they're going to play that card. Turn 3, round 1. Oh, well, hold on. Let me make sure I get the, okay. See, to me, I digress. Anyway, turns. So, as I would see it, on the third one, we will play that one. On the fifth one, we will play that one. Okay, you get the idea. Okay? All right. So, they're going to do that. They're going to play it as the event. So, we're not going to even bother talking about other stuff that they're going to do on their turn. Potentially, we'll just go ahead and bust that bad boy out. So, anti-suffrage, the patriarchy. First coined in 1632, patriarchy describes a social hierarchy and system of political power dominated by men for their own advantage. All right, the patriarchy. Play on turn 1, round 1. Add 1 opposition in the South region. We'll start there. Boo, boo, hiss, boo, boo that man, boo. Okay. Add 1 cube in each state in the Northeast region, the Atlantic and Appalachia region, the South region, and the Midwest region. What the hell? So, Northeast. So, 1 cube in all 4 of those. However, except New York. We'll talk about that in a minute. Wow. They really, really, really don't like this idea of women's suffrage, do they? All right. Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Kakalaki. All right. Then, in the Midwest, we have Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Missouri, and Iowa. Wow, this board got ugly quick, didn't it? Tennessee, Kentucky, North Kakalaki, Virginia, West by God, that's West Virginia for those that don't know, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and then 1 everywhere in the Northeast, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, boo, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Now, I said everywhere but New York. Why? Because there can only be 1 color cube in a given state. And by color, I mean either our color, purple or yellow, or both, whatever. One side's cubes, I guess I should say. That said, in order to do so, instead of placing one of their cubes, they remove one of our cubes. So that is their action. So, Northeast, Atlantic and Appalachia, Midwest, and South. See this card? Just tear it up. Okay, that's done. Okay. Represents the status quo of 1848 when most men thought the idea of women's suffrage was just silly. Silly guys. Fair. I mean, I understand it. I'm just saying the game cheats. That's all. That's all I'm saying, Kevin. Okay? All right, game cheats. All right. So, I'm kidding, obviously. All right, let's get back to our turn. So, that was 1. And by the way, yeah, I'm going to keep, actually, our discards kind of off, kind of in a line for the 6 that we play. I guess I'll know because I'll only have 1 card left, but yeah, anyway. Okay. So, second action. What do we want to do? Huh. Okay, so Frederick Douglass says, roll an 8-sided die, add that number of cubes in Northeast region, no more than 1 per state. I mean, theoretically, we could just hammer out and bust out a bunch of those cubes. That's not a terrible idea, so there's that. Playable if the Civil War is not in effect. Add 1, add a Congress marker and a cube in 1 state of each region. That's fantastic. Okay, that's gotta happen. And I feel like we need, because I know the Civil War is an early card, so I feel like we ought to do this super early, if not right now. Sojourner Truth, roll an 8-sided die, add that number of cubes in the Midwest, no more, so basically the equivalent of Frederick Douglass's card, okay. The Union Victory, playable if the Civil War is in effect. Roll a 6-sided die and a roll of 3 to 6, receive 2 buttons, and move the Civil War to the discard pile. That seems like a good one to keep in our back pocket. Okay. Property rights for women. For the remainder of the turn, roll a 6-sided instead of a 4-sided when taking campaigning actions. Okay. I mean, the only problem with that card is that's one roll, one entire turn of our 6. So, I don't know. Susan B. Anthony indicted. Receive a button and one in one state of each region. I mean, National Women's Rights Convention feels like the event we need to play. So I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do. All right. So here we go. Until the Civil War, suffragists gathered annually. Is the focus messed up on that? There we go. Suffragists gathered annually to celebrate successes, debate strategy, hear speeches, and encourage state and local conventions. Okay. Civil War is not in effect. We are 1/6 of the way. Add a cube in one state in each region. All right. Which show up better, yellow or purple? I think we'll go yellow. I have made a mess. All right. I mean, now I feel like we ought to take a look at the state cards just briefly. I have not at all. So the state cards, the ones that are in play, I feel like we need to focus on these more than any other because bonuses, right? Obviously, it's us for that. It's the Applebot for that. I mean, California is a free action. Utah adds a bunch of cubes in the West. Okay. In the Midwest, draw 2 cards. Okay, so California and Ohio are similar. South, it works like those. Receive 2 buttons. Receive 2. Okay, so Virginia is drawing card is the same as California and Ohio. Montana is the same as Georgia, and New York is that. So okay, so I think we need to focus on those states for sure. So we put 1 in each region, so there are a total of 6 regions. I have 6. So we will go, I think we go California. We will go, well, Virginia. So that's removing 1, so done. So that is that one. Montana seems good, sure. We'll actually throw a little contrast out there. There we go. We'll go Ohio, so that removes that one. Let's go Texas, so that will remove that one in there. And so we did South, there. We did Ohio, we did here. We have not done the Northeast. So do we lean into New York as opposed to removing? I think so. I think I'm good with that. So there, done. All right, I'm good with that. All right, now the Applebot does not have any preconceived cards here, okay? There are 9 of the 12 starting states in play, Larry. All right, so the Applebot draws the top card from his draw deck and determines if it's played as an event or as a campaigning action. So we have the first one. Here we go. Okay. Several of the Applebot event cards say play if. If the condition is met, then the card is played for the event. Otherwise, cards played for a campaigning action. A card will also not be played as an event if doing so would provide no benefit to the Applebot. Okay, cool, easy enough. And some add opposition cubes without specifying the state. And if so, then we'll roll a die. So play if there is at least 1 marker in Congress. Unfortunately, there is. So we are going to play it. Minor versus Happersett. Supreme Court ruled that the 14th Amendment did not grant suffrage to women because the Constitution doesn't confer voting rights to anyone. Remove 1 marker from Congress and add 2 to Missouri. Boo, hiss, boo. Well, that sucked. And it said 2 to Missouri, huh? Well, the good news is there isn't a Missouri card. So there's that. Yeah, seriously, Nick, the game knew. I told you, it cheats. It cheats. Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, I mean, I'm leaning towards Frederick Douglass here. Because, and the reason I say that is campaigning is good in that for every campaigner we have in play, we get to roll a four-sided die. And I don't know if I explained what buttons are used for. Buttons, we can re-roll at any time. So that's nice. But they're also used to be able to get strategy cards in rounds that aren't numbered 1. Oh, and they can also be used to move a campaigner from one region to another. So that's buttons. And the campaigning, so we would be able to roll 2 dice, 2 four-sided dice, and put out cubes in that region. But yeah, I just feel like the Frederick Douglass card's too good for the Northeast. I think we do that. So let's go ahead and do so. If anybody has any strong opinions, I'm open to opinion. So Frederick Douglass was an abolitionist, an influential suffrage leader. Douglass wrote in his influential North Star newspaper, "Our doctrine is right is of no sex." Man before his time, clearly. All right, Frederick Douglass, roll an 8-sided die, add that number of cubes into the Northeast, no more than 1 per state. So that could get us onto the cusp of claiming the New York card. So we need an 8-sided die. All right, here we go. That was a fortuitous roll. Okay. That'll do, pig. That's 8. No more than 1 per state. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll do, pig. And 8. Northeast says, "What up, non-suffrage folk? Don't fly around here." Way to go, Frederick. Just saying. Just saying. All right, cool. All right, Opobot, turn. Senator Joseph Brown opposed suffrage partly because it empowered black women. He didn't see value in, quote, adding to the voting population all of the females of that race, end quote. I say that because Georgia, so I know. Look, don't judge. All right, play if there's at least 1 in Congress. 1 marker. There ain't. Okay, so, oops, wrong one. A moment. All right. Oh. Okay, fine. Kevin says, I would diversify the colors in a state because there are some Opobot cards that remove all cubes of 1 color in a state. Fair point. And we can freely do either. So let's go there. There we go. So we got 3 in New York. I think we try and focus on hooking up New York so we can get that New York card. We can always play, and one thing I did not mention, we can always play 1 card. And we may play 1 strategy card or 1 state card that we have claimed. We cannot play 1 and 1 or 2 of these or 2 of these, but we can hold on to them. But the key thing is claiming it before the Opobot does. Okay? Nick says, I live in Georgia. That's what it's like. I was stationed in South Carolina for 9 years, or about 7.5 years when I was in the Marine Corps. So yeah, I hear you. All right, so some Oppo event cards add cubes without specifying its state. A moment, let me go through this. So the Opobot has 1 campaigner out there, so he's going to roll 1 4-sided die. I believe. Let me double check. Oh, sorry. Rolls a 6-sided die. Apologies. Determine the region, and then move the campaigner to that region. Okay. Okay, so that's first things first. Here we go. Moves the region 6. Will you stop that? 6, by the way, is northeast. Okay. Right. Moves the campaigner there. So apparently they know there's going to be a fight in the northeast. Clearly, I did mention the Appobot doesn't have eyes. Didn't say anything about ears, apparently. If there's an available unclaimed state card from that region, the Appobot will add cubes to that state. If there are 2 available state cards from that region, the Appobot will pick one at random. If there are no available state cards, then the Appobot rolls an 8-sided die and adds cubes to that state. Then roll the 4-sided die to determine the number of cubes to add. So if we take a look, there is only 1 state card in the Northeast. So going to focus on New York. 1 turn away, I'm just saying. So we are going to roll a 4-sided die, which is really a 12, but oh, come on! So he's adding 4 cubes to New York. There's 3 of them. And there's 4. Wow. Screw you, Senator Joseph Brown. Wow. Wow, that was aggressive. All right, well. Now it's our turn. I am displeased. Yeah, you know what? Glory to Rome, to Senator Brown. Boo. All right. You know what? Give me one moment. Yeah, you can re-roll your own dice, but you can't force the Appobot to re-roll with a button. So I'm gonna spirit of the game. I don't think I can re-roll for the Appobot, so I'm not gonna. All right. So what do we have? We could do the same thing in the Midwest, but I gotta say morale is low currently, so I don't feel strong about that roll. Could be indigestion, but I feel that way. Civil War is in effect. I think we hold off on this card. I think we keep that in our back pocket. I don't know what the Civil War card is, but moving it to the discard pile, my guess is probably a good thing for us. And yeah, apparently, Alyssa. Kevin says if you campaign, you get 2 dice and you get to take it back. That's a fair point. Which do we use? You know what? I'm not super thrilled with using one of our 6 actions for this, so I think we could use it to campaign. Yeah, you know, okay. I make a compelling argument to myself. All right. Property rights for women. Called the first Jewish feminist, Ernestine Rose, wrote the first petition to secure women's property rights, a change that fueled the suffrage movement. So we are not playing it for the event. Instead, by the way, if we were playing it for the event, this would go out into the for the rest of the turn box. But we are not, so it's not going to go there. So instead, we're just going to use it to campaign. So this will get discarded. We have 2 campaigners up there, so we're going to roll 2 4-sided dice. We're going to get rid of that ugly die that Joseph Brown used, and we'll use these. So here we go. Well, okay. We rolled a 4 and a 1, which would allow us to put out 5 there. We could use a button to re-roll that 1. Tell me, what do you think? Yes or no? We have 2 buttons, but we're also going to want these buttons to be able to get strategy cards for next turn. So I'm okay. I mean, 5's not bad. I mean, average, right? From 2 to 8 would be, what is that, 5-ish? Yeah, exactly. So that's a fine roll, I think. But it's not going to get worse. But is 1 or 2 cubes worth a button? Y'all decide on that. And we're allowed to add as many cubes as we want, correct? Just double checking. Yeah. Oh, you and me both, Larry. I like the idea of keeping the buttons. Just to be clear, we could lock down New York right now. And I think that's a pretty good idea because there's 1 cube and then adding 4 means that's 5, or that's the 5 that we get. And we get that, which is add 6 cubes in the Northeast region, no more than 2 per state. All right. Looks like we agree we're going to keep the 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom! New York, come home. And let's see. You know what? These can go off screen for a little while, and we'll move that up there. And honestly, that doesn't even need to be on screen. So there we go. So we have the New York card. Now, so anytime we play a card, we can add 6 cubes to the Northeast region. So, hey, high fives all around. Yay, New York. All right, cool. Oh, that's right. That is a fair point. Kevin brings up a good point. I rolled a 4 and I rolled a 1. Okay. And then, that's tricky. That's something you don't anticipate, right? So I used, well, no, we'll do this. I'll use the 4 yellow. So the 4 yellow got rid of that 1 and then places 3, and the purple will place 1. All right, fair point. Yep. There you go. Good call. Good call, Kevin. All right. Okay. Yeah, that feels good. That feels better. Okay. Applebot time. Senator George Vest from Missouri, I'm assuming, Vest opposed statehood for new territories because of suffrage. What a stupid reason that is. Anyway, quote, I shall never vote to admit to the Union any state that adopts women's suffrage, end quote, because I'm ignorant. Play, if there is at least 1 marker in Congress. Holy cow. So note to self, probably should have waited on that one to play that card earlier. Didn't realize there were quite so many that got, wow. Okay, so just gonna campaign, clearly. Okay. All right, so gonna roll a 6. See where they're going. Going to 3. Of course he's going to the south. Now that they're tucking their tail between their legs after getting beat down like a redheaded stepchild out of the Northeast. Okay, they have 1 campaigner, so now they're gonna roll. Wait a minute, let me get back to that. Want to make sure I get this right. It'll become habit. All right, determine a region, move them. If there's an available state card, so we're here in the South, there are 2. If there are 2 available, it'll roll 1. So here we go. Odd as Texas, even as Georgia. Odd as Texas. So that's going to be in Texas. 1 cube in Texas. Did I miss putting a cube out in Texas earlier? I feel like I did. Did I? Feel like I did. Somebody roll it back and let me know if I did. Because that was the one that I feel like should be there because I haven't done anything down there. There we go. Oh, also, I should note, if there are no state cards, this is dangerous. I overlooked this part. If there are no state cards when they go to campaign, they will roll the 8-sided die. Oh, I remove one? All right, cool. See, this is why everybody should have a peanut gallery when they play solo games. Thank you. Oh, right, when I place one in each region. You're right. Thank you. Okay, good, cool. That makes it right, because Texas, yeah, okay, I did. Facts. All right. George Vest, you have been dismissed. All right, we are going into round 5. Well, I digress. All right, thanks, y'all. All right, so we have these 3. And we also have the New York card up here, but I don't know. I feel like we ought to sit on the New York card for a little while. So I think that's what we'll do. Again, holding off on the Union Victory card. Now that we have a little bit of a little momentum here, do we? I think maybe go ahead and work on the Midwest a little bit. There is one state card in the Midwest, so that feels all right. Okay, so here we go. Sojourner Truth implored attendees at an Ohio suffrage convention to include black women in their fight. Okay. Yeah, see, I agree. That's kind of what I was thinking, Kevin. He says, I like to keep the state cards that place cubes towards the end of the game, see where the cubes are most needed. I agree with that. So we are going to play it for the event. Roll an 8-sided die, add that number of cubes, mixed however I want to the Midwest, no more than 1 per state. So, all right, let's hook it up. 8-sided die. It's a 2. Well, again, we always have the re-rolls in our back pocket. That is what you would term a below average roll. Could be worse, could be the same. I mean, I could make a case to remove 2 from Missouri, but I'm not really worried about Missouri here. Like, removing the 1 from Ohio and Illinois. Oh, there actually isn't one in Ohio, right? So we could add, yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we remove 1 in Illinois? And we will add 1 into Ohio. Okay. All right, so that is 5. Applebot time. Gerrymandering. It's the practice of drawing legislative maps to let politicians choose their voters instead of voters choosing their elected officials. Woo, still going on, ain't it? Ugly, ugly stuff. All right, remove all yellow cubes from the 2 states with the most yellow cubes. Well, that's unfortunate, but okay, we can, therefore we must. California and New York. Done. Okay. And that's why we diversify colors, right? There you go. Was that my backyard in the picture? Ha! It is! It really is. Gloucester, Ipswich, Raleigh, Newbury, Amesbury. All right. Wow. Huh. Oh, there's Lynn. Okay. Wow. That really is here, isn't it? Huh. Dig the artwork. Very nice. Oh no, I know I don't lose the New York card, but I do lose the cubes, but that's all. So at least there's that, right? Okay. So I'm holding on to the Union Victory card. That's going to be the one that goes forward for us. So therefore, we're going to play the Susan B. Anthony indicted card. In 1872, Anthony was one of many suffragists who tried to illegally cast a ballot for president, attempting to force the courts to decide the suffrage issue. So we could add a button, add a cube in one state in each region. I mean, that's 6 cubes. Yeah, I think that's just better than, that's more on average than we would be able to do if we just campaigned. Although, here's the other question. This allows us to get a button in 6 cubes. Or we could use it as a, let me get the term right, that is for the organization, organizing action, which will get us 2 buttons. I don't think we need to do that, so I think we do play it for the event. So, there we go. There's 3 buttons we now have. And then 1 in every state. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 in every region. 1 cube in 1 state in each region. There we go. You know what? We'll do them in order here. And Zhao asks, can you have orange and purple? In the same state? You can. Yeah. That because there are player colors. So only one player can have cubes in a state. So obviously, we're going to go ahead and go back to California. So there's 1. Then the plains. Sure. Let's go ahead and hook up Montana. And again, diversifying colors. And it says we could do any color we wish. So there's that. There is a Georgia card, which gives us a couple buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. That's going to be 3. The Midwest, sure. Let's go ahead and focus on Ohio. There's 4. In Appalachia, let's go mix it up. We'll go 1 in Virginia, because Virginia card, that's 5. And, I mean, for 6, there isn't anything left in the Northeast, so let's just go ahead and do our home here in Massachusetts. Okay? Yeah, and Kevin brings up, probably ought to do them in order so you don't forget, and I think that probably makes the most sense. So there we go. All right, so that is our 6th and final turn in the first round. I don't know. All right, you know what? Tell me, folks, because this keeps messing me up. Is it a me thing? See, to me, these are rounds. And a turn is within a round. It's backwards. Or maybe it's me that's... So anyway, we're done here for us. Now the Oppo-bot will do theirs. So that's why I keep messing it up. I apologize, Kevin. It probably is a me thing. Old Dixie. To recover from a demoralizing defeat, Southerners created an idyllic fiction of antebellum life that Northerners also sold and bought as fast. Add 1 cube in each of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. Okay? All right, so we can do it, so we're gonna. All right, so they are adding 1 in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. Okay. I'm going to put, when they're in the state, I'm going to put them close together. For those that are not American, I will, if I cover up the name, I know my geography pretty well. I'll help you all out. All right. Kevin says this is Jason Matthews' fault. He likes the overarch being called a turn. That's the way it was in Twilight Struggle. He has the right to be wrong. I'm not going to, look, I mean... He's the designer of what was the #1 game of all time for a very long time, so I'm not going to argue with the man. but he has the right to be wrong. All right, so cleanup phase. After 6 rounds, done. There are no cards in effect for the rest of the turn. Those going to get discarded. Everybody should have 1 card left in hand. Now, when I say 1 card, I mean 1 suffragist card, and then we have our state cards, and we'll just kind of stash those up here, okay? Because I'm not going to use it for a while. So, boom. It's now the second round turn. I'm joking now. All right. So, we go back to the very first phase. Planning phase. Draw 6 cards. See if we can do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. Okay. Francis Harper, Reconstruction, Vindication of the Rights of Women, 15th Amendment, Francis Willard, and Anna Dickinson. Okay, those are our cards for the round. But before we go into the operations phase, now we have a strategy phase. So let's go ahead and talk about this for the strategy cards. It's the first time we've turned to these now. All right? What are the strategy cards? They're going to be good for us and bad if the Oppobot gets it. All right? Add 2 cubes in 1 state in each region. Okay, that's good. Remove 1 card that is in effect for the remainder of the turn and place it in the appropriate discard pile. That seems good. But we kind of have that already with the Civil War card. But this could always be used later. And we can hold these for whenever we want, right? Eye on the Future says playable if it's turn 5 or turn 6. Well, it's not, so that's a very late game card. Look through your draw deck and select a card and play it for its event immediately, then reshuffle your draw deck. That's pretty awesome. But later. So I'm thinking, this is the card that I think we're going to focus on, pun intended, with the national focus here, okay? So now we have to decide how many buttons we're going to commit to this phase. It's going to be between 0 and however many we have. We have 3, between 0 and 3, okay? Now, the Oppobot is going to be kind of nasty as well. After we've committed whatever number it is, the Oppobot's going to roll a 4-sided die. And if we exceed the die roll, so if let's say we put all 3 buttons out and he rolls a 1 or a 2, we choose a strategy card, yay, okay? If we tie, so if we committed 1 and he rolled 1, then nobody gets a strategy card. However, if we do less than the die roll, then the Oppobot chooses a strategy card at random and immediately plays it. So that's the key here, immediately plays it. So if we lose, there's a 33% chance that he chooses this one, and that sucks for us because having this card later would be, I think, amazing. Okay? So I feel like we ought to at least put in 2 buttons. What do y'all think? I mean, we could get this as Kevin says this is one of our 2 great late era cards to be able to, make sure that we get whatever those are. Again, I'm not familiar with the deck, so I don't know which those are, okay? So the question is, we're going to commit at least 2 buttons. The question is, do we commit the 3rd button to give us a better than 50% chance of winning one of these? Now, you might be asking yourself, let's take a look at our cards. Okay, I think that's a great idea. Francis Willard says, adds a marker in Congress and 2 buttons. Get a button. Possibly get the Union victory. If the Civil War is in effect, we get a better than 50% chance of getting 2 buttons. So I think spending all 3 might not be terrible. Yeah, I agree. I think everyone's saying let's go big or go home. I agree. So we're going to commit all 3 of these there. So they're going to roll a 4-sided die. Yeah, it'd be better if it was 3-sided. That's a 2. Good thing we did. We get our card. Boom. So now, these are obviously spent. Do we get the really good card for later or the pretty damn good card for now? Do we go national focused, eye on the future? So 1 or 3, tell me, and we'll do that while I take a drink. Here, we'll keep it there. Y'all decide, 1 or 3. Those are the 2 options. And by the way, I didn't explicitly say this, but I think it was clear that we always go first. The suffragist player always goes first, okay? All right, it seems that the ayes have it, the ones have it, so national focus it will be. I don't think we play this anytime immediately until we can secure multiple cards. Because like what Kevin says, national focus can help you scoop up a bunch of state cards, but Eye on the Future is so good. We'll make mistakes, that's okay. So we're gonna hold on to that. So hey, awesome, well done, high fives everybody, good job. All right. Y'all digging this? I am. Okay? I see you, Nick. I see you, Spot. But, oh, and I believe that immediately refills. Does it not? I believe so. Let me double check. Yes. Immediately refill. So, a moment. Let's go back to that. Changing plans. Look at your opponent's hand. Oh, do not use for. I forgot to take that one out this time. My bad. Never mind. You never saw that. So, but hey, actually, this is really good. Do not use versus Oppobot. Okay, that shouldn't be there. Forgot to pull 2 out. There are 2 of those. So, hey, do not use versus the Oppobot. Okay, good. Those are removed now. Good job, Edward. Hey, here we go. Regional focus. Add a cube per state in any one region. That's got to be our focus, I think, for the next time we do this, right? I feel like it, right? I feel like it. All right, so getting back to this. No Civil War, just sitting on that one. Draw 2 cards from your draw deck, discard 1 card, and play the other card for its event immediately. That seems awesome. However, I think we sit on this until later, and the reason is because cards like this, add 1 marker in Congress and get a couple, that's fantastic. And there are so many cards that are removing markers. I think we sit on this one, and I think we sit on this one. So I feel like these 3 cards are going to be later in our return. Okay, so we're really going to focus on these 4 now, I think, for the first couple, unless something goes sideways, obviously. So, Francis Harper, roll an 8-sided die, add that number of cubes in the Atlantic and Appalachia, no more than 1 per state. I mean, that's basically like the Frederick Douglass and who was the other? Sojourner Truth card. So, that works pretty well. Playable if the Civil War is not in effect. Now, keep in mind, we could always play this after we have played that to take care of it, so we're not in a rush to play that. But anyway, if it's not in effect and the 15th Amendment is in effect. So we would need to play this first before that. But okay, let's keep going through it. Add a cube in each of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. A whole lot of states. That's fantastic. 15th Amendment says, playable if the Civil War is not in effect. Roll a 6-sided die on a roll of 3 to 6. Oh my Lord. On a roll of 3, oh. And see, this is why we need buttons for re-rolls. So everything is telling me we're playing this first, but I digress. On a roll of 3 to 6, add 2 markers in Congress, add 8 cubes anywhere. No more than 2 per state. So, Anna Dickinson, come on up. You're the next contestant. Okay, Anna Dickinson, as a lecturer and leader in the abolition movement, Dickinson was the first woman to give a political address before the United States Congress. That's amazing. And she looks so young. That's awesome. Receive a button and add a cube in 1 state in each region. Yes, ma'am, I will do so. Okay, so get a button. We have not gotten that button yet. We will get that button. Okay, they're the same. Just saying. 1 state per region. Get a couple of each. The 11 states of the Confederacy. That is the reconstruct. Obviously, given the card, that makes sense. All right. So, stick with California. We will stick with Montana. That's 2. We will do Georgia. That is 3. Then I think we go Ohio is 4. We'll go Virginia, which is 5. And let's go ahead and spread the love. And we will go 1 in Connecticut. Nah, we'll go Vermont. For no other reason than Jess is from Vermont originally. So there we go. Okay, those are the cards from last round. Set those away. Okay. That felt like a pretty good first turn. Now, the NAOWS forms is on turn 3, round 1. So not now. Now we're just going to straight up play 6 Oppobots cards here. Regular ones. Okay? Oh, hold on. One, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's tempting. Oh, shoot. All right, so for those that don't see, Kevin's bringing up a good point. That if, remember, we're allowed to play 1 card, and then we may play 1 state or 1 strategy card, right? If we were to play this, we would actually claim, I think it's 4 cards, right? We would claim California card, the Montana card, the Ohio card, and the Virginia card. We would not claim the Georgia card yet. So here's my question. No, I think we wait until next turn. And the reason for that is the 15th Amendment allows us potentially to claim Georgia as well. Card. 5 of the available 8 cards. Yeah, no, I think we're going to wait. I like where your head's at, Kevin, but I think we're going to wait. Here we go. And this is where Morgan Freeman's, and this is the moment Edward realized he made a mistake. See? All right, Civil War card. Southern states seceded from the Union in order to maintain the institution of slavery, a system of human bondage rooted in white supremacy. Okay. The Civil War. Play if it's round 1, 2, or 3 of the current turn. It is. Remove 1 from Congress. We can't. For the remainder of the turn, the suffragist player, aka us, may not add cubes to any state in Atlantic and Appalachia in southern regions, and it stays in play. Okay. All right. You know what? That's actually a pretty decent draw for us. Because we don't have any markers, that's okay. So now, we cannot do Reconstruction while that's in play. And we cannot do the 15th Amendment while that's in play. So that becomes kind of a obvious choice now as to what we're doing. The Union victory, the end of the Civil War, meant a return to campaigning and political organizing for suffragists. Okay? Playable if the Civil War is in effect. It is. Roll a 6, sided die on a roll of 3 to 6. Receive 2 buttons and move the Civil War to the discard pile. We currently have 1 button. We will use it if we fail this, to be clear. So here we go. We need a 3 or higher. We will use the button. That is off, so we do not count it. That would go either way. Y'all know that's how that works. There we go. That's better. All right, so we get 2 buttons. I like these 2. Let's go with those. Okay? And you go away. There we go. So, done. Excellent job there. That's 2. All right. The Oppobot. That was close. I'm all stressed over here. All right, early. 15th divides suffragists. Many suffragists objected to an amendment protecting voting rights based on a citizen's race, color, or previous condition of servitude, but not gender. All right. So, play if the 15th Amendment is in effect. It's not yet, but it's fixing to be. Woot! So, we're not going to play it for the event, but remove all purple from the 4 states with the most. The suffragist player loses 2 buttons. Good Lord. We just got those buttons. Okay, so instead, he has 1 campaigner out there. Let's see where he's going. Going to Region 2, going out to the Plains. The Plains does have a card in place, so he's going to campaign in Montana. And how many does he take away from us? 4. That sucks. That's all right. It was a risk, but I feel like it was a good risk. I think this has played out well. That removed 3, and that's 1. I feel like John Dutton all of a sudden. Just the struggles in Montana are real. Fastest Civil War ever. Yeah, I hear you. All right. That's 2. Well, okay. I think this still works out because Georgia and Montana are in, oh no, 2. That puts us 1 behind in Montana, doesn't it? I think we stay on target. I think we play the 15th Amendment now that that's gone. All right. While some suffragists opposed it to focus on universal suffrage, others supported the 15th Amendment that extended the rights to the right to vote to black men. Why the differentiation? It's just some of our history is just terrible, isn't it? All right, 15th Amendment. Play if the Civil War is not in effect. It ain't. Roll a 6-sided die on a 3 to 6. Add 2 markers into Congress. And add 8 cubes anywhere, no more than 2 per state. Now I'm thinking maybe we ought to wait. Just. You know what? Gonna pull an audible. I am gonna wait on that. I'm just so scared of those getting removed. I'm so gun shy that I think we wait for the 15th Amendment one, and instead we play Frances Harper. Harper co-founded the American Women's Suffrage Association, noting, "You white women speak here of rights. I speak of wrongs." Oh, Kevin thinks we shouldn't. Oh, God. Wait. No. No. You know what? He would know the deck better than I. Fine. We'll stay on target. Rolling a 6-sided die. Here we go. That's a 3. We succeed. So we place 2 markers in Congress and 8 cubes anywhere, no more than 2 per state. All right, Kevin. 8. All right, so no more than 2 per state. I mean, there's that. I think we do California. We might as well. That's 2. I mean, I guess we do Virginia. That's 3. And I think we do Montana. So we place 2, but one of those has got to come off to offset for that. So there we go. Done. Yeah, see, Larry, I'm just saying, I'm a little gun shy. So there we go. By the way, cards in effect for the remainder of the game. Although, I gotta be honest, yeah, there might be things that remove it, even though the one that probably does is already played, but I digress. There we go. Okay, so that's 3 actions. Oppobot. Okay. Okay. Kevin says the late era cards have a lot of Congress markers. The midterm elections in 1918 let you place 3. All right, fair point. Fair point. Okay, border states. Border states complicate the simplistic narrative of the Civil War as North versus South, and they prove to be difficult ground for suffragists after the war. All right, add a cube in all the border states. Okay, let's do that. Okay. And the reason why not one in Ohio is because, right, national focus would allow us to do that. So that's why I didn't, Mike. I'm not saying I'm making all the right decisions here. I'm just saying that's the reason for it. All right, add 1 in Delaware. 1 in Maryland. West by God. Kentucky and Missouri. There is no Missouri State for a card for the Oppobot to take for Missouri, so don't have to worry about that. All right, that is his 3rd turn, so our 4th. So, to be clear, now real quick, we got 2 other 2 of the states that we just took allow us to draw 2 cards from our deck and discard 1 and play it immediately as an event. So that's pretty awesome. I don't think we need to do that right now. So I think we hold off on that. And we still have a Vindication of the Rights of Woman, which does the exact same thing. So we're probably going to play that one soon-ish. But, Reconstruction. If the Civil War is not in effect, 15th Amendment is in effect. Add 1 cube in all of the southern states, basically. Awfully tempting. I mean, is there a reason to? No, that's just too much. That's too many cubes to not. Okay. Reconstruction was a temporary period of integrating freed slaves into Southern society through educational and political opportunities. The South was thrilled about that. All right, so we meet all the prerequisites, so we're going to add a bunch of cubes. Well, actually, we're going to remove a bunch of cubes, but all right, here we go. So, Virginia. First thought, oh, we get to add one in Virginia, so that's cool. We'll go yellow for Virginia. Okay. Then North Carolina, done. South Kakalaki, done. Georgia, we get to add one. We'll add a purple. Florida, remove one. Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas. Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. Here we go. Cool. That seemed like pretty great fourth turn. Okay. Have a good one, Larry. Thanks for hanging out. Horace Greeley, an erstwhile woman suffrage supporter. Greeley and other abolitionists supported the 15th Amendment, angering suffragists like Anthony and Stanton. Huh. All right. Placed 2 opposition each in New York and Connecticut. Okay. So, 2 in Connecticut and 1 in New York, and removes the one that we have in New York. All right. That's his fourth action. Done. Ours, we have Georgia. We won't get Montana by playing National Focus. We could play the Francis Harper card. We could campaign. We need to get our campaigners into the Midwest and South for those. Well, Ohio, I guess, and Georgia, we're about to actually take. But I really want Montana's card. The good news is Francis Willard's going to give us 2 buttons. Montana is going to get us 2 buttons when we get that card. So you know what? Do we use the Francis Harper card to campaign? And then we spend the 2 buttons to move 1 to the Midwest, or 1 to the Plains here and 1 to the South. And then we'll throw some cubes out. And we can play National Focused, and that will lock up most of the cards. You know what? I'm going to do that. And let's see. So we're foregoing adding cubes to Appalachia. So instead, here with the Francis Harper card. So Harper co-founded, right, we already read that. Right, so we're going to play it as a campaign action instead. And we're going to spend our 2 buttons. This may be a mistake, but this is how you learn. We're going to go 1 there. And we're going to go 1 there. And now we're going to roll 2 4-sided dice. Well, that's good. That's less good. So that's a 4 and a 1. Okay. The 1 is going to be there. And the 4 will be 1, 2, 3, 4? I mean, do we just do that? I think so. That gets us the Texas card. And we're immediately also, as part of our turn, going to play national focus, and we get to add 2 cubes in each region. And this will go out of the game. So there will be two in each region. I'm sorry, it's 2 in one state of each region. That'll work. So there's Utah, there's Montana, that's our card. Then there will be 2 in Georgia, there's that card. Then we will do 2 in Ohio. There's that card. Does it matter? Let's go and get a foothold in Pennsylvania. You know what? Let's get those 2 out of Kentucky. There, and then in the Northeast, 2 in one state, right? I mean, let's just throw them into Maine. There. I mean, that feels like the right thing. Right? That seemed good. So there you go. Okay, apparently getting later into the deck is better, quicker, because more campaigners come out. That makes sense. But I feel like that was a really good use of our buttons, at least. So that is 5 actions this turn. Or, yeah. Southern resentment. As the Reconstruction dragged on, resentment of Northern influence and black citizenships rose, fostering backlash to political progress in the South. Play if the 15th Amendment is in effect. It is. Add a cube in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. Okay. All right. Texas, done. Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama. Okay, done. That is his 5th action. Okay. All right. So now we have a tough call. I mean, here. Obviously, we have all the state cards. We'll cover it. Those basically do 3 things. They do this. Or get 2 buttons. We're going to play one of them that gives us 2 buttons. And then the third thing is play 6 cubes in the South or Northeast, no more than 2 states. I don't feel like those are as important right now. So here, we'll go ahead and play the Georgia card as well. Georgia card says get 2 buttons. Okay, boom, done. Easy enough. So we will go and take our 2 buttons. Okay, so now here's the question. Do we hold on to this? I mean, more buttons is good, but I don't feel like we need, if he rolls a 3 or a 4, oh, there's that. But talking, getting into the deck and getting a free event seems really good. But we're limited. We only have 2 buttons right now. So for the next strategy, so do we play them both and hope he rolls a 1, maybe a 2, and we don't get any strategy cards? Or do we play offensive or defensive? And this will give us options. I think we play that. I think we play the vindication of rights of woman. Written by Mary Wollstonecraft in 1792, the influential book argued women are not property nor ornaments and deserve the same rights as men. Obviously, but draw 2 cards from your draw deck. Discard 1, play the other for its event immediately. Okay. So, there's 2. What do we got? Here we go. Okay. I mean, yeah. So, women to the polls. In 1868, black and white women in Vineland, New Jersey, used this blueberry crate as a ballot box to protest their lack of suffrage. That's awesome. And petition to Congress. During debate of the 14th Amendment, activists led a universal suffrage campaign and petitioned for voting rights regardless of race or gender. Yeah. 2 each in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Great, but not happening. Okay. So, petition to Congress, add 1 marker in Congress, and add 1 in 1 state of each region. Yes, please. Halfway home. All right. Utah would like to stand up and be recognized, so there. Okay. There's 1. And then, I mean, go to my former state, Colorado. That's 2. Down here in the south, we got all the cards now, so let's go ahead and start making inroads here in Arkansas. So there's 3. In the Midwest, that needs to get whittled down, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to get my birth state. So there's Michigan. There's 4. In Appalachia, let's go ahead and knock down Pennsylvania. There's 5. Get out of New York. 6. Okay, done. Okay. Okay. That felt solid. So that is what we're keeping. And we got our buttons, so we're good. Okay. Southern hospitality. The stereotype of warm and generous Southern hostesses is rooted in racist and classist ideas, which were at odds with the realities of political citizenship. Now, as an aside, when I was, if y'all allow me, when I was stationed in Beaufort, South Carolina, obviously I'm not from the South, but that whole Southern hospitality thing, it definitely got the feel of, yeah, y'all come and visit, just don't stay. That's how it felt. And this is coming from a white man. That's how it felt to me. So I can only imagine how bad it felt to, if you're not a white male. And this is in the 90s. So yeah, anyway. Place 1 cube in those states. Okay, hey, ironically, South Carolina. All right. Oh, that goes away. Forgot to move that. Okay, cool. All right. Now, I'm not saying that it was all bad. It wasn't. It's just FYI. Virginia, we will remove a yellow cube for Virginia. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. Okay. Done. It's the end of the second turn. All right, so we advance that. I feel like there's one other step I'm forgetting. Cleanup phase. There we go. Oh, right. This is for the remainder of the game. There's no cards there. That stays. Good. And here we go. I want to read something real quick while I have some tea. Give me a moment. Okay, yeah. Okie dokie. All right. So, step one, draw cards. Wow, that's a lot of. I'm going to play a lot of these. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Y'all digging this, by the way? And yes, it does have that 1960 feel. Jason Matthews is one of the developers in the game. So, yep, that totally makes sense. Debate us, you cowards. I'm going to organize those a little better. Emmeline Parkhurst. National American Women Suffrage Association. Oh, there you go. That gets another campaigner out. That's going to be good. Lucy Stone, Pioneer Women, and the Union Signal. Okay, and I said I was going to organize these by type, so a moment. There we go. Okay, so we have get 2 buttons. I mean, there's no unless there's something that says you get rid of all, well, I guess there are. So need to be careful. We don't want to just play that willy-nilly. And then draw 2 cards and choose one and play it immediately. So that's what those are. And then this is adding 6 cubes, the South and the Northeast. These I want once the 19th Amendment is passed, and then we're just fighting for the states. So there's those. Now, before we go into our action, remember, we need to do the strategy, but figure, looking at this, we have 2 buttons currently. That seems like an early play for us, so I think we just go ahead and play both of our buttons and hope for the best. Okay. So he's going to roll a 4-sided die, and hopefully he rolls a 1. Okay, here we go. That's a 2. That's not a bad result. We lose our buttons, but you know what doesn't happen? He doesn't get any of those, so that's a win. I'll take that. It's all right to be a little defensive at times. Okay, that's strategy. All right. So we are obviously, we did start the middle deck, or part of the deck, as it were. Do we just go ahead and play that straight away? Do we put out a 4th Congress? Because as soon as we get to 6, then it's all about putting cubes on the board, right? Let's see, roll 2 6s, remove that number. I'm not worried about that yet. I'm not worried about that for adding cubes. Not worried about adding cubes necessarily. Now, if we were to play Lucy Stone, it gets us a button, and it would get us the Utah card, which is adding cubes in the West. But I just don't feel like there's a rush for that right now. Same with the Union Signal, which is essentially the same card, functionally the same card. So I don't know that there's a rush for this. However, here's the thing. If we can go through the deck while getting with these to be able to add more markers, having that 4th one out there. But I think we play the NAWSA card. I think so. And we have no rerolls, but we're going to be getting 3. So I think we actually go ahead and play one of these. So let's just go ahead and play the Virginia card as well, I think. So I think so. So we add the purple campaigner in Atlantic and Appalachia and get 3 stars. As competing organizations, the NWSA and the AWSA were divided over the 15th Amendment, but merged in order to focus on the suffrage fight in the states. I mean, yes, that makes sense. So we can do this in either order, but there's no reason not to do that first. So we will place this in Appalachia, good, and get 3 buttons. That's helpful. So that is the first card. Let me move those out of the way. And this is, I'm keeping these stashed in, like, fanned out over here, so it helps me track how many I've played in a given turn. All right, so there's that, and then we are going to play Virginia, draw 2 cards, and here we go. And that state is done. All right. Okay, so roll 6 on a roll of 3 to 6. Add Congress, and 4 in Montana, and 2 in every other state in the Plains region. That's pretty great. And we do have buttons now for that, for Jeanette Rankin. Rankin was the first woman to hold federal office in the United States, elected in 1916 to represent the great state of Montana in Congress. That's awesome. Marie Louise Bottineau Baldwin, for the remainder of the turn, roll a 6 instead of a 4 when taking a campaign action. Baldwin, a member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians, marched in 1913 women's suffrage procession and pressed President Wilson to support suffrage. I think Rankin's got to be the card, right? I think it's got to be. You're from Montana, Kevin? Yeah, I think so. I think we go with Rankin. Thank you, but... All right, so on a roll of 3 to 6. Okay, here we go. That's a button. Oh, come on. That's a button. Changing dice. There we go. So, on a roll of 3 to 6. Took us a while to get there, but we got there. Put 1 out for Congress. And 4 in Montana. It's beautiful up there. I've never been to, we've been real close. We crossed the border on our trip from Mount Rushmore to Devil's Tower. So we came real close to Montana, but never been. But seen it in Yellowstone and all the other associated shows. It's gorgeous up there. I miss the West. So there, and 2 in every other state in the Plains region. So that's going to be what, 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. They all have numbers. I could be following that, but I think I'll be okay. And 1 more in Wyoming. Here we go. That was great. I feel good about Montana ratifying the 19th Amendment. It feels good. It feels likely. Oh, wow. Kevin's parents live about 30 minutes from Yellowstone on the Yellowstone River. It's where they put the wolves. Just saying. All right. That was a great first turn, y'all. We are 2/3 of the way to getting it passed in Congress. So let's hope we can keep it rolling. Here we go. Oh, wait. Sorry. Play on turn 3, round 1. Add 1 angry white dude in the Northeast. The formation of the NAOWS was an admission of the suffrage movement's strength and potential. State chapters proliferated to harness opponents' energy. All right. So into the Northeast. Done. And that is his first. Campaign trail, I could see, yeah, Brianna, yep. We actually are going to. Alyssa's been bringing that up for a while now, so. Okay. We're going to keep pushing things. And it's functionally no different, but I'm keeping the California card in our back pocket. So, we're going to play Frances Willard. The temperance movement leader saw suffrage as a powerful tool for her teetotaling cause. She famously said, "Politics is the place for women." Add a marker to Congress and receive 2 buttons. We're on the hill. That's the penultimate marker. We need 1 more, y'all. Okay. And because, again, we're trying to press to be able to place 1 more. Here, draw 2 cards from the deck, discard 1, play the other. Okay? One and 2. Didn't work. Ida B. Wells Barnett, an anti-lynching activist. I mean, do you need, isn't that just called being a normal person? Like, that's horrible. Like, that had to be a, anyway. And journalist, Wells Barnett helped pass the Illinois Suffrage Act, which gave black and white women the right to vote in 1914. Awesome. Maria de Lopez. De Lopez was a leading organizer in California's 1911 campaign, translating flyers and posters, delivering speeches to Spanish-speaking audiences. Awesome. All right. So where do we want to, we're going to get 2 stars. We're going to get 2 buttons. Add 2 in Illinois and 1 in every other state in the Midwest. That would basically nullify the Midwest, mostly. And 2 in California, Nevada, and Arizona. We don't have a whole lot going on in the West at all. So we're getting 2 buttons. Okay. I think we knocked down the Midwest. So we're going to go ahead and do the Ida B. Wells Barnett card. So add 2 in Illinois. Not to mention, we still have the Illinois card out here. Okay. So 2 in Illinois and 1 in every other state. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 in Michigan and 1 in Ohio. Done. That felt productive. That felt good. It wasn't what we wanted, but it felt productive. Okay? Sorry to hear. New American Underground got COVID. Rest up. I hope it's mild. All right. Oh, save us, senators, from ourselves. Women working against suffrage confused some officials. But the opposition used suffragists' tactics like circulating petitions and giving speeches. Add 1 cube in 1 state in each region. Now, when it doesn't specify, we have to randomize that. The state is determined by 8-sided die, right? 6-sided determines the region, but it's in every region. So here we go. We'll just do them in order, 1 through. So here we go. Region 1. It goes into 3, California. 1. We're into 2. Nope, doesn't count. Goes 2. And 2 is Wyoming. Then the South is 7. That is South Carolina. The Midwest, that is a 1, Minnesota. Then Appalachia is one. That is Tennessee. Tennessee. A little Arrested Development playing in my head now. And 2 is Vermont. That goes away. Done. Okay. So that is 2 for them. He says, I regret that you have to make 6 rolls of the DA, a minor failure in making the game system run smoothly and quickly. That's fine. That's no big deal. Nah. Wasn't that bad. Okay, we're up. What are we trying to do? Okay, a couple things. There's the cards. We're good on buttons. We have 5, so I think Montana gets buried for a little bit. Then adding cubes to the states, I think we hold off on that again until things are sent to the states. So the only question is California. I don't know. I really don't know. So yes or no, do we play this turn to try and dig through the deck to be able to, well, dig through it. We get 2 cards. So there's that. So we need 2 in Illinois and we need 1 in Utah to get the last state cards. So I mean, we could do this. We could also campaign. So that would be an average of like 6 cubes anywhere. 3 of them would be accounted for to get the last 2 cards, which would give us 6 cubes in the West and Midwest respective. I mean, Emmeline Parkhurst ahead of the debate us, you cowards, because we're more about adding cubes than removing. I guess? Yeah, I think that's what we do. I don't feel super awesome about this turn. And the question's still, I'm going to go ahead and play the California card as well. So California is going to be used, and we're going to go ahead and do the Emmeline Parkhurst card as well here. There you go. All right. Pankhurst, the British suffrage leader, spoke to American audiences in 1913 as a revolutionary militant, willing to risk death for freedom. I mean, seems reasonable. Roll 2 6-sided dice. Add that number cubes anywhere, no more than 2 per state. Okay. 4. Well, we know 3 of them, as mentioned. There's 1 to claim Utah. There's 3 to claim Illinois. So we got all the cards now. And 1 more. What do you think? Montana? No, I'm kidding. Honestly, I'm going to throw 1 in Texas. Because if we can lock down something down here in the South early, I think that'd be good. So now, here we go. 1, 2. 1 time. Ah! No, didn't work. Damn it. All right. The West Awakening. The earliest suffrage victories were in Western states where lower levels of diversity and the rise of the pro-suffrage populist party fueled change. And Carrie Chapman Catt. The women's suffrage movement is for equality of rights and privileges, and it knows no difference between black and white. Hear, hear. So, 2 buttons, add a cube in 1 state in each region, or 2 cubes in each state in the West. We have 5 buttons. Here's the thing. I feel good about being able to get a strategy card for round 4. But if we take the 2 buttons, it gives us 7. Now we are getting more buttons over here. That would pretty much not necessarily guarantee us, but would really strengthen the odds that we get the strategy cards. Because I imagine these are going to suck as they get harder. That's adding 6 cubes, or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, yeah. You know what, Michael, you're right. So as much as I would like those buttons, that's going to go away. We're going to do the West's Awakening, 2 in every state in the West. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, my home state, Oregon. Whoop, whoop. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So what that tells me right there is by doing the West Awakening, we basically are channeling Maria de Lopez. I'm just saying. So that was pretty great. Okay. All right. That's action number 2. Nope. I put it in the wrong one. That was 3, right? I did. All right. 3 actions so far. Good. Here we go. Dirty, dirty Oppobot. Xenophobia. Rampant anti-immigration sentiment swept across America around the turn of the century, influencing the opposition and supporters of women's suffrage. Oh, God. Remove all yellow cubes from the 2 states with the most yellow cubes. Remove all purple from 2 states with the most purple. Ouch. Ouch. Okay. The top 2. Okay, so Montana. So we spoke too early. So Montana has 4 and 4. There's 3 here, and there's 3 here, and there's 3 yellow, and there's 3 yellow, and 3. Oh, God. Okay. 2 states with the most. Okay, when tied, a moment. I would say we randomize. So obviously Montana is number 1 for both of those. For the purple, it looks like Ohio, Utah, and California. So we'll go left to right. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here we go. Yep. So that's going to be Utah. So that's it for the purples. Okay. Ouch. And then for the yellow, we got Utah, we got Texas, and we got Ohio. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm hoping for a 1 or a 2. I think. Perfect. Exactly what I asked for. Okay, Ohio loses those. Okay. So just to be clear, that was 14 cubes we just got knocked off the board. Ouch. Elliot. That sucked. Xenophobia, not good. Ugh. All right. You know what? I think I messed that up. Give me a minute. I did not. Where did I put? Did I miss? Did I skip the Oppobot somewhere? Oh, no, it's up here. My bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. Okay. Yep, Montana moves from dead certain to toss-up. See? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, add one to the plains. One in each. We got the states now, though. I think we campaign. So, yeah, I think so. I think what we're going to do is we're going to play Pioneer Women to campaign. So this is roll an 8-sided die and add that number into the state, right? But if we campaign, we get to roll 3 4-sided dice and add them anywhere in those regions. I think that's a better deal. Starting in the Wyoming Territory in 1869, women in the West and Plains earned their right to vote well before women back east. Those were some hard women back then. They were some badasses. Okay? Yeah, so I was thinking we could organize. We have 5 buttons right now, though, so I think we're going to just go ahead and campaign. And no, it's 1 to 4, Paul. So we're going to roll. We have 3 campaigners. We have 1 in Appalachia. We have 1 here in the Plains and 1 down south. So we're going to roll 1 each. Well, that'll do. A 2, 3, and a 4. Okay. Here we go. I think we will go the 2 up here, so that's going to be that campaigner, and I'm going to just go ahead and choose to put him in Montana. So that one's done. That's the 2 gone. I think the 3 will go here in Appalachia. That's going to be purple as well. And you know what? We're just going to remove some of theirs. So that'll be 2 in Tennessee and 1 in North Carolina. So there's 3. And then the 4 down south, we're just going to remove 1 in Florida. That's 1. We got 3 more. And these are yellow. Let's go 2 in Florida and 1 in Arkansas. Making inroads there. That feels all right. I'm good with that. Yeah, all right. That's our 4th. Now the question is, do we also, we still have all the, again, all of this is adding cubes or adding buttons. I just don't want to yet. You can only play 1 of these per, and I want to save it starting in the 4th. Yeah, I think we wait on those. Okay, done. The Great 1906 San Francisco earthquake, natural disasters and long periods of expensive rebuilding disrupted the political momentum that suffragists were building in states and in Congress. All right, so play if there's at least 1 cube, 1 yellow or purple in California. Checks out. Remove all of them from California and we lose a button. Awesome, there go 5. Boo. And we lose a button. Boo. But I'll be honest, as much as that sucks, they ain't touching these. We need 1 more. It's brutal. Like I just want to fast forward through this round. So these 2 are identical and that just removes some of their cubes. So I think we'll play the Union signal, I guess. Magazines written by and for women, like the temperance-driven Union Signal, had great reach and helped bring more activists into the movement. Receive a button and get 1 cube in 1 state in each region. All right, so give me my button back. 1 in each. There's 1. Then we'll go 1 in Wyoming. There's 2. We'll go 1 in Arkansas. There's 3. We will go ahead and work on Michigan. That's 4. Let's go ahead and add 1 in Pennsylvania. That's 5. And back in Vermont is 6. Okay, done. And again, not playing any of those. Done. Western saloons push suffrage veto. When Governor Brody vetoed the Arizona territorial bill, media said, quote, the saloon and gambling element were the strongest class that urged disapproval of suffrage, end quote. Play if the 18th Amendment is not in effect. It is not. Place 2 in Arizona and 1 each in New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah. Okay. So, let's see, what do we got? 2 in Arizona. So, those go away. And 1 in New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah. New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah. There we go. So, remove those 5. That is the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5th one. Okay. And now, our question is, which of these 2 do we keep? I mean, I think maybe we hammer them down. Keep this. That way we always have a button in our back pocket. Maybe. I think we knock them down, right? 2 anywhere, no more than 2 per state. Yeah, I think we hammer them down. So let's go ahead and do that. Because I feel like we should be able to get this locked down in the 4th round, I'm hoping. Debate us, you cowards. Before tweet storms and TV pundits, political debates help audiences understand issues, and suffragists distributed briefs to prepare for the clash. Roll 2 6-sided dice, remove that number of cubes anywhere, no more than 2 per state. All right, let's go. Big rolls. You know what? Is it worth? I think it is. I think we keep the 4 and we spend a button. We have it. We have 4 buttons still. We spend 1 button to re-roll that. That seemed good. So 9. We get to remove 9 of their cubes. Okay. Well, 2, 4, 6. 9. No more than 2 per state, right? Okay. 8, 9. I mean, I'm just trying to be thematic here also, right? So a little bit of border state, West by God, and the South. Like that seems thematically to make sense. Okay? Yeah, that works. Oh no, whoa, 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 hold on. Back it up. So, Kevin says you have to re-roll all the dice. See. Oh, see, when I read this, I said a button may be used to re-roll a die roll. I saw a die, then skip the roll. Like, let's roll that back. I'm not going to spend the button in that case. I do not want to do that. So, I have to put 4 back. So we'll put 2, 3, and we'll keep 1. I know there was 1 in Maryland, so let's do that. 4. There we go. Not trying to cheat. Fair enough. Thank you, Kevin. All right. His final card play of the third turn round. A threat to the ideal of womanhood. Suffragists confronted and challenged the cult of domesticity. Easy for you to say, Edward. Domesticity. A set of assumptions about the role of middle and upper class Protestant women in America. Play if it's round 1 or 2 of the current turn. It is not, it is round 5. 6. So, we're not going to, so instead it's just going to be for campaigning. But for the remainder of the turn, suffragist player must spend 1 button in order to play a card as an event. Ooh, nasty. Ooh. Okay, glad we don't have to. All right. So, there are, now this is the first time he's campaigning. So let's see. Each region, right, so he's going to roll 2 dice, 2 6-sided dice for the regions. They are going to campaign in 4 and 6, so Northeast and the Midwest. Okay. There we go. Then, a moment, I lost my spot. Here we go. If there are no available state cards from that region, the Oppobot rolls an 8-sided and adds that to the state. Okay, so therefore, oh, never mind. The 8-sided die is what state, and then, I got you, and then rolls the regular campaign. I got you. My bad, my bad, my bad. Okay, so we'll start with the Midwest. Midwest, he is campaigning in Wisconsin, and within Wisconsin, he is going to put down 1 cube in Wisconsin. Okay. And now, in the Northeast, campaigning in, I think that's Vermont. Nope, sorry, where's the 4? In Maine. In Maine, they apparently found a lot of rural folk and dropping 4 cubes. So that's actually remove 2, add 2. There we go. There we go. Okay. That was nasty, but it wasn't terrible. 3, and that is that. All right, going into round 4. We keep our buttons. Right. There are no 4 turn, and we're going to draw. So, drawn 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Buttons and cubes. Now, what I'm wanting to see here, buttons, I'm sorry, cubes. Cubes. Come on. More cubes. Removing. Come on. Come on. Congress. Yeah, there it is. That is an important card. That is going to be our first card played. Just the end. Just hard stop. Absolutely need to. Okay, here we go. Inez Milholland. Only the, quote, only the hopes of women have we, and our own spirit, and a mighty principle. Women of these states unite. We have only our chains to lose, and a whole nation to gain. Add 1 marker in Congress, receive 2, back up. We're not going to do that yet. We still have to do strategy. I forgot. Okay. But we get to see that, and that's going to happen. So, It's not, I mean, do we do 4 buttons? That's the only question. Here are the 3. Apparently this is the important one, according to Kevin. So I think 3 buttons is enough. That gives us a 75% chance. Ooh. You know what? No, there's enough to where we're getting buttons. No, we're going to do all 4. We're going to do all 4. If he rolls a 4, nobody gets it, but if he rolls lower, then we get it. That's a 3. Good thing we did. So it was worth spending all 4 buttons. Sorry, I just got excited about Congress. So we will take Eye on the Future. And now that is done, but new one, receive 5 buttons. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. So for our first play, Inez Milholland, add 1 marker to Congress, 2 buttons, and 1 in every state in each region. So there we go. So I will address that in a moment. There's a button and 1 in every state. Sorry. 1 state of each region. Okay. 1 in California. We will do 1 in Colorado. And a 3rd in Florida. We will do a 3rd in Michigan. We will do a 2nd in Pennsylvania and a 2nd in Massachusetts. Okay, so now that we have all 6 markers, the game switches a little bit. When the 6th marker is placed in Congress, Congress has passed the 19th Amendment and sends it to the states to be ratified or rejected. Remove all of these from Congress. The congressional portion of the game is complete. For each state that has at least 4 cubes of either side, now it's check marks or X's. First one to their number wins. When each one is empty. That's it. Okay? All right? So, here we go. So, let's clear these up. The first state to actually ratify it is Colorado, the great state of Colorado. Done. Texas. Who'd have thunk it? Not what you would have guessed. Georgia, also not what you would have guessed. Virginia, yet another surprise. Illinois. Yeah, that's fine. And we don't lose any right off the bat. Okay? Let me double check. Let me make sure I'm supposed to remove them, right? Yeah. Yeah. Remove the cubes and place them. Yep. Nobody has rejected the 19th Amendment yet. Okay? So, yay us. Well done, Inez. And we can play one of these, which this is all about, we're not going to play the one with buttons. Let's see. Add 6, no more than 2 in the Midwest. No, I would like to take care of the plains, I think. The Wests, I don't have any of the plains. All right. So, Midwest, the West is another likely candidate, I think. Yeah, I think we go ahead and play the Utah card as well. And the Utah says add 6 or into the West, no more than 2 per state. California is 2. Oregon is 2. And Washington is 2. Okay. That'll do. We are in round 4. And thank you, Kevin. Says 4 turns pretty early for sending it to the states. Edwards playing a smart game and has had pretty good luck. I'll buy that. Conservative opposition, anti-suffragists regularly conflated the fight for the vote with radical ideologies like feminism and socialism using scare tactics to win support. Add 2 cubes in any 3 states. Any 3 states. Okay, so we will go through this process 3 times. Here we go. Region 1, State 5. Region 1, State 5. And it's add 2 cubes. So there's 1, there's 2. Make sure I'm doing that right, but I'm pretty sure. Yep, I'm doing that right. And that is 3 states, so that's 1. 1 and 1. It cannot. So therefore, when it can't, let's see. Reroll the 8 until a state that hasn't done it. Okay. That's a 7. Arizona gets 2. They got scared because of the West Coast, apparently. And, wow, they really did get scared. Can't be California. That's 5. Nevada. Ooh. There we go. Okay. That says first. Okay, so now that that's done, now that we got the Congress stuff done, now I can actually look at the other cards. Yeah. Is it, I want to add in the plains. That one seems mixed. That's the one we're playing. I suppose I should show y'all all of them there. But we're clearly playing Zikalasa. Okay? Because I want to lock those down as much as possible. Or as quick as possible, I should say. So, Zikalasa. A member of the Yankton Sioux Nation, Zikalasa fought for suffrage and Indian citizenship. That's awesome. Add 2 in each of the plain states there. So, here we go. We go North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Montana, and Wyoming. That's about as good a turn as I could hope for. 36 to 13, I believe. That's the race, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to 0 currently. Okay. Hey, Rainer. Hope you're doing well. And we can place in the Northeast, in the South, the Midwest, or get buttons. I think the Midwest feels pretty all right. Does it? Or do we wait? I think we wait. Okay. He's up. Emma Goldman. The opposition wasn't a monolith. As a radical anarchist, Goldman believed voting was a waste was a waste and supported full revolution to achieve her goals. Some people just want to see the world burn, huh? Add one in one state of each region. Okay, so we'll just do this 1 to 6. So here we go. That's a 2. Nope, can't do it. Can't do a 1. 7 it can. There's 1. So now we are into 2. That's 8. Oklahoma. That will work, so we will lose 1 in Oklahoma. Then we are into 3. Is Texas. Can't do Texas. 8. That is Florida, sadly. Yes. Now we are into 4. Four is a 2. That's Iowa. Yep. That is, add 1. Iowa. Okay. And now we're into 5. Is Kentucky. And finally, in the Northeast, that is Rhode Island. Done. Some people just want to see the world burn. All right. Huh. Do we hammer them down? I think so. I feel like removing them is more important. So therefore, Alice Paul and Lucy Burns to the stage. Paul and Burns formed the National Women's Party, which used militant tactics and racist strategies to win suffrage, which is jacked up. Not okay. So, yeah. All right, roll 2 6s. Remove that number of cubes. No more than 2 per state. Okay. 9. No more than 2 per state. That'll work. 2, 4. You know what? Hold on. Maybe we punt on those. Let's look. 9. I feel like the South is where they're going to, I don't, You know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven, 8. They have campaigners there. 9. All right. All right. So, and with that, do we play any? I think now we'll go ahead and play the Illinois card. Add 6, no more than 2 per state. 1, 2. Three, 4. 5, 6. I'm okay with that, I think. All right. Appelbot. Unwarranted, unnecessary, and dangerous interference. Some states strictly oppose the suffrage amendment and pass resolutions to warn the federal government against violating their rights as states. All right. Add 1 cube in each state, in one state of each region. So again, 1 through 6. Here we go. 5. Yep. Well, good thing we got that one out of Nevada, or else that would have been a no vote right off the bat. Going to 2 is, yep, so Kansas. 3 is, yep, that is Alabama. There's 3. Into 4. 4 is 7. Right? Yeah. Okay. So we lose 1 in Indiana. Then 5. Oh, 1 in Indiana came off. Sorry. Forgot to move the camera. 5 is Kentucky. And finally in the Northeast, I missed. Try that again. That is 3. As New Hampshire. Okay. Floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's okay. I think we go ahead and break out the Helen Keller card. Best known as a hero for the disability community, Keller was also a radical socialist and supported women's suffrage in speeches and processions. Roll 2 6-sided dice, add that number of cubes anywhere, no more than 2 per state. Okay, here we go. Okay, that one stays, the other one doesn't. So that's a 1 and a 3. That's 4. We can do better. Spend a button. That is in fact better. So there's 7. So that's 2, 4, 6. And we'll go 1 in Iowa. 7. Okay. And do we want to play any of the state cards? You know what? We'll go and play the Montana card that gives us 2 buttons. Done. Senator John Weeks. A conservative Northern Republican, Weeks aligned with Southern Democrats in the Senate to vote down the suffrage amendment by just 2 votes. Play if there's at least 1 in Congress. There ain't, because there ain't. So that's just going to be straight up campaigning. Okay. Too little, too late, Weeks. Okay, so campaigning now. He has 2 campaigners. Let's find out what regions they're going to. They're going to 4 and 6. That's odd. They're already in 4 and 6. They're stubborn, I guess. And how many are they doing? Let's see. Well, here, we'll go that way. So 4 and 3 respectively. So 4 and 3. And we'll roll dice to find out. So in the Midwest, those are going to 3, which 1 will go into Missouri, which there, so Missouri says 9. So there's 1, and a moment. Roll for the ones in adjacent states within that region. The only other states, and that was 4, that's 3 going to go into Iowa that are adjacent states in that region. So Iowa gets 3. Ugh. Okay. I don't like how this cascades. And then there are 3 up there in the Northeast. That is going to be into 3, and 3 is New Hampshire. And New Hampshire has voted anti-suffrage. Terrible. So we have our first 2 X's on the board. Yeah. Now, on that note, Kevin, going back to this, if it spilled over, if Iowa was already decided, would they just not go anywhere because it's blocked off because of Illinois? Would they just be null and void, or would they spill off further? Or would they cross region borders or anything like that? I think they would just not happen. But yeah, a voting pandemic or not, if it were. That was Iowa, right? Yeah. Missouri, right? Yeah, I did, right? Right? Closest state. Okay. Weeks was from New Hampshire, so thematically speaking, I guess that makes sense. In the same region. Okay, it will continue to spill over. All right, good to know. So I only have one more gimme, which, believe it or not, is Arkansas. So this is an interesting card now. Oops, sorry about that. There we go. So that card, North Dakota and South Dakota are already determined for us. They've already voted to ratify. But it would help Iowa, and Wisconsin would be for us, and then Minnesota would get 2. Or we could campaign. I don't know what the right answer is. Do we spend a button to move that campaigner there? I think we campaign. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Sorry, Rainer. I think we're going to campaign. And we spend a button, because we're going to get buttons from that, to move that campaigner to the Midwest. So we get 3 here. And let's see how this rolls out. That'll work. 2, 3, 4 again. Okay. I think we do the 4 in the South. I think. The 2 will lock down a state. So let's do that. We'll go and get Pennsylvania. So there's the 2. Oh, that's dead also. The 4, I think we go ahead and take one of them there. So there's 3 left here. Let's go 2, 3. And then we have the 4, or the 3, sorry, for the Midwest. And I think we lock that down, Wisconsin. That's 2, and then we get 1 more in Indiana. There, done. There's still a lot of check marks still to go. Man. I think I hold off on both of those, which are the Northeast and the South. Fort Circle. So Kevin Bertram in chat is who's the company who made this. Tory Brown's the designer. White supremacy and the suffrage movement. Ideas of racial domination touched nearly every decision suffrage leaders made, shaped the arguments they delivered, and stained the movement's legacy. Play if Southern strategy is in effect. It is not. Remove a lot of cubes, but it doesn't, so instead just going to campaign. So he has 2 out there, so let's find out where they're going to campaign in. 5 and 6. They're really trying to hammer the Northeast. It's not going to work, guys. I'm just saying. Okay. So this will be for Appalachia. 2. And the Northeast is 3. Okay, let's find out what states. So Appalachia, that is 5. 5 can't be, that is Virginia, and that's settled. That's a voted state. 8 is Delaware. So 2 into Delaware. And then in the Northeast is going to be 3 in New York. Yeesh. Okay, done. So we got one more. And I think this is a no-brainer for us. So Equality League of Self-Supporting Women, founded by Harriet S. Blatch to organize working class or self-supporting women. It was later renamed the Women's Political Union. Received 2 buttons, and 1 in 1 state of each region. The buttons for these, I thought, would be the good idea. And 1 in a state in each region. All right. Well, we'll go 1 in Kansas. We'll take 1 out of Nevada. All right, you know what? Better yet. I will add 1 to New Mexico instead. So done, done. Here, we will go ahead and take 1 out of Mississippi. That's 3. 4. I think I'm going to take 1 out of Iowa. In 5, we'll take 1 out of Kentucky. And 6, take 1 out of New York. That's us for the 4th turn. His final one. Senator Cotton Ed Smith. South Carolina's Smith opposed the 19th, saying the Southern man who votes for the Anthony Amendment votes to ratify the 15th Amendment. There is not, so just gonna go ahead and campaign, because Congress part is done. Okay. So campaigning. See where they're campaigning. 1 in 4 out west in Appalachia. Check that. Midwest and west. That's worrisome. All right. So we'll do the west first. The west gets 2. And the Midwest gets 2. All right. So the only rolls that matter are 5, 7, and 8. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and re-roll on 7 and 8. Wait a minute. There's an equal chance. So how about we roll a 6-sided die? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes more sense. 5, 6. So remove 2 cubes from New Mexico. Done. Okay. And then there, what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3 states. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 in Minnesota. Here we go. We are done with round 4. There are no turn ones. Round 5 happens. We draw 6 cards. 3, 4, 5, 6. Add a campaigner for us. This card, the 18th Amendment, now is dead for us because we've already done this. So this is strictly campaigning or getting us buttons. Mary Church Terrell. Terrell. We'll go Terrell. Adding cubes. Woodrow Wilson. Spend 4 buttons to select and place in front of you 1 available strategy card. Okay. Receive 4 buttons. Wow. I guess those work well together. And the Southern strategy. Receive 2 buttons, add 2 in every state in the South. Select and place in front of you an available strategy card. Okay. So because we have 2 of those that allow us to get strategy cards, I think it makes sense to go ahead and use all 4 buttons. Yeah, I think so. And he rolls a 4-sided die. Let's see. It was overkill, but we got it. So, now we choose what strategy card? I mean, do we get the 5 buttons? It seems good. Add 1 in every state in any region. That's only good for Appalachia? Really? I think we take the 5 buttons. I think so. I think we take the 5 buttons. So 1, 2, 3, 4 that we used, and 5. So that's that card. Well, okay, technically I don't have those yet. Fine. There. We get a new strategy card that comes out. What is it? Select 1 state and remove any cubes and add 4 or... Oh, so that just gives us a state. A contested state. That seems really good. Okay. Okay. So, our turn. I think we start off with the Southern strategy. Oh, yeah, we do. Got it. Here we go. Southern strategy. Much of the suffrage movement embodied America's endemic white supremacy, and many white leaders diminished the role and rights of black women to appeal to racist lawmakers. Terrible. Receive 2 buttons. Okay, done. Place 2 in each state in the South and select and place in front of you 1 available strategy card. I don't know. Say that one, I think. It's either that or that. So that just straight up gets us a state, a contested one like Nevada or New Mexico. Whereas this, yeah, I think we will go with that one. Done. So we get that. We get to add 2 in every state in the South. So, that'll be 2 in Louisiana, 1 in Mississippi, 2 in Alabama, and 2 in South Carolina. That seems good. And then I think we will play the Texas card with it, and the Texas card gets us 6 in the South, no more than 2 per state. So Louisiana's ours for 2. Four, and 2 in South Carolina. Done. That seems good. Oh, and we get a new strategy card out also. Move all of your campaigners, or one of the angry white dudes, to any region without playing any buttons, and then take a campaigning action. Oh my. Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, we're going to be using that one here shortly. Woo. All of their cards are gone. This is now 5-1. Ooh. War in Europe. The quote-unquote war to end all wars interrupted politics and suffragists' lives. Many stopped campaigning to join the war effort here or abroad. Play on turn 5, round 1, done. Remove 1 from Congress, can't. For the remainder of the turn, the suffragist player must spend 1 button in order to take a campaigning action, though. So if we want a campaign, it's got to cost us a button. Okay. All right. First, yeah. We're going to play efficient organizing first, which gives us 5 buttons, 4 of which we're immediately going to spend to select and place in front of you an available strategy card that looks, I don't know, a lot like that. That seems good. We're not going to do that yet, but very soon. So, thanks, old Woody. So we get 1 there. That will go away there. We get another strategy card out. Draw 6 cards from draw deck. Play 1 for its event immediately. Place any number on top of your draw deck and the rest at the bottom of your draw deck. That also seems really good to be able to basically plan out the rest of the game. Okay, good to know. So, a moment. We played that and we played that. That's our second one. We have 3 to go. So if we won a campaign, it cost us 1. That's okay. All right, his second action. A moment. I forgot to put that over there. What did I do with it? Oh, it's out there. War in Europe. There. All right. 1918 pandemic. Too soon. Just saying. Everything conspires against women's suffrage. Obedient to the demands of the health authorities, suffragists will refrain from public gatherings. Play if it's round 1 or 2 in the current turn. It is. This is the second. Remove 1 from Congress. Can't. Oh, my God. For the remainder of the turn, the suffragist player must spend a button to play a card as an event. So basically, if I want to do any of my main actions. Okay. Our turn. This is difficult. Okay. I think first things first, we play the bellwether state card, which allows us to remove any and add 4. So we'll just claim Nevada. Done. Then, for our action, I have no idea. So, to play it as an event costs us a button. I mean, this gives us a ton of buttons to be able to do things, but that feels like such a... That could be really good. I think getting our other campaigner out, that way when we do campaign, we have them out there. I think that's the right play. I think that's what we'll do. So, playing it for the event means cost us a button. Done. Women's Trade Union League. The league led factory strikes, fought for suffering and demanded dignity for working women. The worker must have bread, but she must have roses too. Add, well, for what it is, the last campaigner in Atlantic and Appalachia. I don't add any in Congress, but I do add 2 buttons. So, 1, 2. That goes into Appalachia. Done. That's my third action. Southern Women's Rejection League. Formed to lobby against the Anthony Amendment. The Rejection League supported Anglo-Saxon domination and opposed socialism and radicalism. Play if the Southern strategy is in effect. It is not. Although, hold on. It is. I apologize. Forgot to keep this out there. It is. Add 2 in 4 states in the South. Okay. Well, good news. There's only 3 options. So, adding 2 in each state. So there's 2. There's 4. There's 6. That's all they can do. Done. All right. Now what are we doing? I think first things first. I think, or is it? Oh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it just crazy to move all my campaigners to Appalachia? It probably is. Probably shouldn't. Having 2 of them there, though, makes sense. I think we play transportation first. Move all of your campaigners without paying any buttons, then take a campaigning action. I think we do that first. So where do we move them? Where can they, I mean, maybe we do this? 2 in the Northeast and 2 in Appalachia? I think so. I think so. I'm not saying I'm positive about it, but I think that's what we do. Here we go. And we have buttons for re-rolls if we need. That'll work. I mean, when you figure four-sided dice is between 4 and 16, and we got 13, that'll work. So 7 in one, 6 in the other. No limits. So in the Northeast, I can play 6. So there's 2, but I'm getting 7 here. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7. And then New York allows me, provided it doesn't get messed with, 3 of those states. That seems good. There. Oh, I'll have to pay a button to play an event here, but here's my question. Is a strategy card the event? Strategy card don't, do I? Like that's not or oh, is it the event of? I'll let you tell me that, Kevin, and then I will do. I have plenty of buttons, so I'll let that go. Let's get him out for 2, and then we got 4 more. And I think we'll go 2 in Delaware and 2 in Maryland. Okay. Okay, good. That was right, because it was a strategy card. Now I can play the event or other card. Could campaign. And I think that's what we'll do. So we will take the 18th Amendment. We're not going to play it as an event. We're going to play it as a campaign action, which per the War in Europe card, I have to pay a button to do so. So there we go. So ignore that. But temperance supporters wanted to prohibit the sale of alcohol to protect women from abuse, and they supported suffrage as a means to that end. Okay? A moment. All right, so we're going to campaign. So there's that. Done in here now. There we go. That is 3. I'm not moving anybody. We're just going to roll again. Okay. That's 11. Okay. Well, in a perfect world, I would like 6, and I can't. I could do 7. Okay. 7 and 4? 7 and 4 it is. 7 and 4. The 4 is just going to be to lock those up. And the 7 is 2, 4, 6. Lock those up. And knock one down in New York, I guess. Okay. All right. Done. No, I need it for the event for the pandemic, and I need it for campaigning for the war in Europe. This sucks. But I have enough buttons, plus I have the club movement, so that works out. Okay? He's up. Senator William Borah. Borah promised suffragists he would support the Anthony Amendment, but he betrayed them and cast a deciding vote against sending it to the states. Wow, you're some piece of work, aren't you? So just straight up campaigning for them. So here we go. 6 and 4. You're a little late, boys. You're a little late. Okay. So states. Sorry. Having to arrange kid pickup. This is running longer than I expected tonight. So there are 3 states here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait, sorry. That, my bad. 5, 6, and how many? 4. Ouch. So those get removed. Those go out. Those can come back now. There we go. And then in the Northeast, we're looking at what? 3 states available? So same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many will drop? 3 in New Jersey. We're up. How many more do we need? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the states are right there. Paying all 3 buttons and doing this. 1 to play it for campaigning and 2 to move the button or move the campaigners. Lucy Stone, first an abolitionist, Stone became a suffragist who supported extending voting rights to black men. The issue divided the movement for decades. Okay. And I'm moving all 4 right there. So we're rolling all 4 of those. Re-roll these. So that's a 1 and a 3. So that's 6, 7, 8. That's 9. Okay. Just temporarily move them. That's 9 cubes. Well, that can take care of 2 states, I guess. So that'll be North Carolina and West Virginia. That way I don't have to look over it. And we'll throw 1 in Kentucky. Wasn't perfect, but we're working on it. Okay. And sure. You know what? We're not done yet. Eye on the future. We have 5 states left to ratify. We need to remove a ton of cubes, so maybe I don't do that yet. Nope, we'll wait. Never mind. So how many have we played? We have 1 left, right? Yeah. All right. The Woman Patriot. This bi-monthly newspaper published by the NAOWS stated it was, quote unquote, dedicated to the defense of the family and the nation against feminism and socialism. Sounds horrible. Yeah. All right. Add 2 in any 3 states. Okay. Any 2 or 2 in 3 states. All right. So, here we go. Let's find out. First one. 4, 2. So it's going to be, okay. And it's 2, right? Iowa votes against. There's 1. Four, 7. So it's going to be 4. So there you go. Indiana votes against ratification. Ratifying, as it were. And the last one, 4, 5. Cannot be 5. So it's got to be 1 Oh, it's got to be 1, doesn't it? Okay. Against. Done. Last action. We need buttons. Club movement. Black women's suffrage clubs like Chicago's Alpha Suffrage Club and Oakland's Fannie Jackson Coppin Club were important in organizing bodies. Get 4 buttons. And to play it as, oh, wait, I can't. Oh no, I messed up. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so I can't do that. Okay. So first things first, I will play the Eye on the Future. Look through my deck and select a card to play it for its event immediately. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do something that gets me buttons because I really want that. Not going to try and take too long with this, but no. No. Oh, that would have been great. Like that was the one that Kevin mentioned earlier. I could discard it for buttons. That is true, but no. Remove that number. That's less important. Not worried about that. Potentially. Add 1 to every state in the West and Plains. That is way too late in the game for that, I think. Wow. War in Europe is in effect. That place is 10, no more than 2 per state. That's awfully tempting, so that's a maybe. Oh no, I don't want that because that's about to go away, so that doesn't make sense. That if it were next round, so that's leader in the clubhouse. That makes no sense at this point. No. Okay, that seems awfully good. Oh, I mean, it gives me 4 buttons. No, I think we go here. I think we just straight up, we win all ties in final voting. Yeah, that has to happen. And then I'll play this club movement to get 4 buttons, but not because of the event. So instead, for the first time, what I'm going to do is play a card for the organizing action, and I get 1 button per lobbyist out there, and I have 4, so I get 4 buttons. Oops, I just messed up the deck. Oh no. Hold on. Nope. No, I didn't. It's right there. Never mind. No, I didn't. It's right here. So that goes there. Okay. And then we shuffle. There we go. Okay, that's my last action. Okay. His last one for the round. Senator Henry Cabot Lodge. Senator Lodge repeatedly voted against suffrage and tried unsuccessfully to delay the final necessary vote on the Anthony Amendment on procedural grounds. Nope, just going to campaign. Okay. He is campaigning where? That 5 and 5. So I guess they are loading up in the same place we are in Appalachia, which that is literally only 2 states available to them. So let's see. How will this work? I guess even and odd, right? So, even and odd numbers for each. So, does not matter what die I use in that regard. So, one of each. So, we will do the odd one first. So, Tennessee denies ratification, and then Kentucky also. Oh, no, there's two. So, that is one there, and one is removed from me, and two there. Done. Sixth round. These thankfully go away. Oh, those are terrible. Okay. Draw 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was hoping I'd get that one. Playable if Europe in effect, war in Europe. It's no longer in effect. Damn it! Oh well. Add that number of cubes, no more than 2 per state. That is not for that action. 2 per state. Final voting, that's good for me. And 2 per state. So all 3 of those are 2 per state. Rolling. In fact, all 4 of these cards are. There. These 2 are dead in a sense that they're not for the event, and that could be. All right, so first things first, we have 4 for the strategy cards. I mean, that seems really good. How can I make it work? I don't have anything that gives buttons, to be clear, this time. So I need to be smart. I think we only go 2. As great as that is, I've seen the deck, and the cards that I have now, I think I just go 2. So hoping he rolls a 1. Oh, nobody gets it. Nobody gets anything. So it's a tie. Okay, so I wasted 2, but I don't know if I'd call it wasted, but so strategy cards are done. So what card do I play? I have New York. I have to get 5 more. Where is easy? Kentucky? No, wrong. Midwest, there. So, oh, that's remove, that's place, place, and remove. And I think removing is more important. I think we start here. Mary McLeod Bethune, an educator and activist, Bethune urged fellow black women to vote and taught reading classes at night to help them overcome literacy tests. Roll 2 8-sided dice and remove that many ugly cubes. All right. Good roll, please. That'll work. That's 11. No more than 2 per state. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Well, that looks better. Way to go, Mary. And now I'll play the New York card, which allows 6, no more than 2 per state in the Northeast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll work. Okay. Voter suppression. Oh. Local officials abused their power and erected uneven barriers to the ballot box, especially for black women, in order to maintain racial domination. Horrible. Jim Crow law, I see, segregation. Oh, yeah. The Oppo bot rolls 8s instead of 6s during final voting. But we win all ties, so there's that. Okay, our turn. We have no more special cards to play. However, Dr. Mabel Pinghua Lee rolled 2 8s. Add that number anywhere, no more than 2 per state. In spite of the Chinese Exclusion Act that barred women like her from voting after the ratification of the 19th Amendment, Lee fought for the suffrage and citizenship rights. And it would make sense that if it helps women, or at least white women, it will eventually trickle down. I'm thinking is the thought process on that. Okay. Here we go. Good roll, please. Oh, there's 6. The other 6 doesn't count outside the box. That's less great. 7. So 2, 4, 6. 7. Okay. We are. Cheers to no on suffrage. Some saloons served as polling places, with bar owners offering a free beer to men who voted against suffrage ballot measures in order to stop the passage of prohibition. Interesting. Pretty terrible. Clever, but not great. Play if the 18th Amendment is not in effect. It is not in effect. Add 2 in any 4 states. Will you stop that? 2 in any 4 states. Okay. 4, 7. There, everything is settled in 4. Roll again. In 1, it is here, and we're adding 2. I'll do it this way. So we are on the first one. So it's going to be odds and evens. Odd is going to be adding 2 to Arizona. Now we're moving on to 2. It's 5, which is Appalachia. And I think the only thing in Appalachia unsettled is Kentucky. There's 2. So we are now on to 3. That is in 3, which is the South, which there are 3 states in the South. There's Mississippi, Alabama, and South Carolina. So 2, 4, 6. Of course it is. So remove that one. Add that one. And the final one is in region 5. And that settles against ratifying in Kentucky. Done. We're up. How many more? I need 2, right? So I can get 1 for sure. And then we'll see. Yeah. Mary Church Terrell. Terrell, a skilled orator, was a steadfast champion for black women who pressed white organizations like NAWSA to fight for black lives and votes. Hear, hear. Here we go. Roll. Oh, that's a fair point. Add 2 in any 4 states. Didn't say it couldn't be the same one. Okay, let me back up. In any 4 states. The way the roll worked out, it was the same state twice. It doesn't say a limit on this one, so I would argue I could do that. So, here we go. Rolling 2 8-sideds. No more than 2 per state. This one says that. That'll do. That'll do. Can't win it, but we can all but. So New Jersey settled. 2 per state. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Oh, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's it. We let the Oppo bot cheat like that. I'm just saying. There should be a game after this. Should be. Yep, here we go. Ooh. Okay, Red Scare. Socialist revolution triggered American panic and radical suffragists, like other leftists, were demonized as dangerous extremists and un-American. Whereas it's the epitome. Anyway, remove all purple from 2 states with the most purple. Fine. The most purple. There is none. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it that way. And 2 states. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reroll on 6s. 2. So purple goes away in Oklahoma. And on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Purple goes away in Alabama. Done. Okay. Our turn. Need to be smart about this. Because all my campaigners are there, all of us are, I am going to use the sporting, make a home run for suffrage. Seems appropriate. Athletes have long shared their political beliefs, and some major leaguers even stumped for suffrage, calling it a quote-unquote rank injustice to keep the vote from women. So we're not going to do it for this. We're going to campaign. And to campaign, we will, we no longer have that limitation. So campaigning, I will spend my 2 buttons to move 2 down here to the south. And we will roll 2 4-sided dice. I need a total of 5 out of that. Let's do it. That's a 2. Move that off to the side. And 4. Really? Oh, I misspoke. I only needed one. Because 1, 2, the 19th Amendment has been ratified by 36 states, the final state being the great state of South Carolina. And just to be clear, Alabama was dragging their feet, but was coming along. Done. Now, we won. However, I do want to go through what would happen, because we didn't go to final voting. If, after 6 turns, the 19th Amendment has been sent to the states, meaning that is done, but not 36/13 have been, then it goes into final voting. Players take turns, starting with the suffragist player, selecting a state to vote on the 19th Amendment. Every player rolls a 6-sided die, or what would have been 8-sided dice, because I would have played the same card for them. And either player, in our case, us, we can roll, we can spend buttons to re-roll our die. If a player has cubes, then the player adds that number. So for instance, this would be a +2. That would be a +1 for us. That would be a +1 for him. Highest die roll wins for each state, undecided. And that's it. We came, we saw, we surprised, or we supported women's suffrage. We got the job done. It took a while, but we got it done. Persistence pays off. So, there you go. That is votes for women. There is a way to make it more difficult, if you were so inclined. For increased Opobot difficulty, you can use the black 4-sided dice. There are no 1s on these, on the 4-sided dice, as well as the black 6-sided dice. There are 2 4s instead of a 1, and the 8 during final voting. They're just, I think that's just 8 as well, I think. Oh no, in final vote, oh God. The lowest number is a 2. 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 5, 8. Yeah, ouch. So they're just high, there's weighted rolls if you want. So if the game isn't hard enough for you, and I mean, let's face it, we crushed. But if you want to make the game harder, you can do so. So there we go. Okay. All right. Well, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. I had a blast with this. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumb. Certainly appreciate it. Subscribe. Half of y'all aren't subscribed, which boggles my mind. It costs you nothing. And hit a button. Hit the bell notification so that you get notified whenever we go live. I will say this, YouTube's a little sketchy on whether or not it actually does it, but that's YouTube's end, not our end. And if you find value in what it is we do and you think we're worth supporting, the content that you find here, the 1,400 or so videos that we have for free, consider supporting the show over on patreon.com/HCHQ. Bills are stacking up. I need to pay them each month. I certainly appreciate a couple bucks. If you find value, then I would appreciate those couple bucks. All right. Patreon.com/HCHQ. Big thanks to Kevin over at Fort Circle Games for the review copy. Hopefully, I imagine if I'm Kevin, I'm pretty happy with things overall. And big thanks to Tori. She couldn't be here today, but she did surprisingly make the last stream that we did last week. Tori Brown, the designer. So that was awesome. So certainly appreciate that. And thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to the mods. Did Joel's job. Yeah, that was fun. I had a blast. Thanks for spending a few hours with me on a Monday morning/afternoon. Yeah, cool. There you go. That's it. That's a wrap. Podcast drops tomorrow, and then we have more content coming up. John Company later on this week, and another Learn With Me as well. So hopefully you all tune in for that. Go check out the weekly look ahead for all the details on that. Otherwise, I'll see you all on Wednesday. Have a good night or afternoon. Have a good rest of your Monday, y'all. Take care. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Woo! 19th Amendment ratified. Yay!